mindset that we have now, where it's like the parents look at children more so as extensions of themselves rather than this is an actual person.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's the key thing.
Exactly.
I can't tell what you're thinking. I don't know who this Joshua guy is. I don't know who Amarachi. Yeah, you know, I don't know what you're thinking. So in my head, I'm always like, okay, trying to be like, okay, should I come up soft with this guy? Should I come up hard to?
I think I was like 16. From 16 to 18, I suffered like a whole lot of anxieties, and that was when that's when I realized I wanted to be an artist, and that really messed up a lot of things because I couldn't really relate with certain people because of my anxiety.
Welcome to another episode of Cocktails and Conversations, where we talk about every and anything. My name is Pelumi Folorunsho, and I'm going to be your host for today. Today we have with us three beautiful guests. I'm just going to give you the opportunity to introduce yourself briefly. So,
hey guys, I'm Rex. I'm a digital marketer.
All right.
Hi, I'm Amarachi. I'm a fashion designer.
Hi guys, I'm Josh, known as J4I. I'm a recording artist.
All right, that's amazing, amazing. Nice to have you, Rex, Amarachi, and Joshua. So today we're going to be talking about a very topical issue among the youths. We're going to be talking about anxiety. And first of all, I just want to go, a lot of people have said, oh, anxiety. There's a lot of noise about anxiety, if you know that, and mental health and everything. But let me just start with you, Joshua. What is anxiety for you? If you say, oh, I'm feeling, what does anxiety mean to you?
In my opinion, I feel like anxiety is something that it's like a feeling that just really overwhelms you when you're about to carry out a task, like a current situation that you've never tried before. You understand? So this kind of feeling of fear, like it's just so much pressure inside you, and you just want to calm down. And a lot of people don't know how to control that kind of feeling. And this kind of feeling is rampant in teenagers and young adults. Yeah. So
two key things you said. You said fear and also starting something new, right?
Yes,
okay, so I'm just gonna keep that.
Yeah.
So what would you say is anxiety for you?
I would say almost the same thing. It's just anytime you want to do something that's out of your comfort zone and your inner critic is talking you down. But sometimes that inner critic can also like help you up. But it gets bad when it's like when you don't notice that that's what's happening and it just continues festering and the worry keeps building. You just keep getting more and more anxious until it's like you have to take some time out.
All right, inner critic. Okay, I'm gonna keep that. What else? What do you think anxiety is to you?
I think anxiety is a state of irrational fear and excessive thinking about like current tasks, about things, everyday things that we go through day-to-day like life. So
that's amazing. The thing is, I picked some things from you guys. One common thing you've all said is fear, and you said starting a new task. So how would you say that anxiety affects? Okay, let's talk about youths now. Starting a new career, choosing your career path. How does anxiety play a role in picking your career path and just trying something new? Because at the end of the day, as youth, you have to try a lot of new things before you actually find which. So how would you say that?
Okay, I feel like some people who are creatives, they might feel certain people might feel insecure. They have the mindset to be creative. They want to do things, but they have this feeling of this emotion of anxiety. So it kind of hinders.
Let's talk about you,
okay,
not
me
people.
As a
Yeah.
person. Okay, well, me as a person, I used to really care about what people really think about me, but then I just realized that that is not really who you are. You need to discover yourself, understand yourself, have your own mind, to do things and make certain decisions. So I feel like previously when I think I was like 16, from 16 to 18, I suffered like a whole lot of anxieties. And that was when that's when I realized I wanted to be an artist. And that really messed up a lot of things because I couldn't really relate with certain people because of my anxieties, you know. So just because I feel, oh, I have insecurities and maybe this person is noticing that insecurity. So, you know, that kind of social, you know, dilemma where you're around people and then you have your insecurities, but these people don't know your insecurities. Yeah, but you feel like they know. So you just have that conscious feeling that, oh, these people know this, and then you're just sad and looking so gloomy.
Yeah.
Understand? Yeah, so that's my own.
I think you have something to say. You just.
Yeah, I feel the same way, to be honest. Like, it's very tough to kind of remove that mindset, especially when you're meeting new people, and you can't grow too much without meeting new people. You can't just be in the same environment forever. I can't be around the same people forever, especially when you're doing something like he said, you're chasing a creative goal, you're chasing something. You're trying to actually move out of your past self or like what you've already known as yourself.
Yeah, what have you known as you.
Going into like new environments can be very, honestly, it can be daunting, it can be scary, but it's like, how do you cope with that if you're trying to actually do something for yourself?
Yeah, would you say parental pressure actually affects
Yes.
would you say?
I think parental pressure plays a huge role in the way anxiety develops in like children growing up.
Yes.
I think exactly when, especially in this Nigerian mindset that we have now, where it's like the parents look at children more so as extensions of themselves rather than this is an actual person.
Yeah, I think that's the key thing.
Exactly. Some like goals and stuff. So you want to sculpt this person into who you think they should be.
You should be.
Exactly who they actually are. And you can, like, for example, like imagine a young boy, maybe he's more adept in sports or something like that. And his parents are like, nah, this one, you'll be a lawyer, you'll be an engineer. You know? So it's like his whole life is being forced into this like field that he has no aptitude in, and he's paying for it every day. It's making the young boy feel like have a negative outlook on the schooling system in general. Like he goes to school, he doesn't like it, people bully him, his teachers bully him. Like exactly even in school, the teachers bully you too, especially here, like call you all sorts of names. So it's like over time it builds up into this, especially when you don't know how to handle your emotions and your triggers. Like we weren't really like taught that in school growing up. It was more like the mind thing, but nobody really taught us how to process like things that affect us. So it's like it's parental pressure plays a huge role in how it's formed.
Yeah, I think what you said is really key. It's just, parents thinking that you're actually an extension of them and not actually, being your own person. So with parental pressure, do you think that society actually pressures parents? Does that make sense?
Yes. I think especially in a society where they grew up in. So they tend to carry that same culture from their previous, how do I say this, lifestyle, from their upbringing, from the environment.
Yeah, because even with parents, I feel like even in their own hearts, sometimes they may not want to pressure you that much, but just because of what people will think, what people will say, kind of thing. So what of age-centered pressure? Meaning like, oh, at a certain age you need to do this, at a certain age you need to do that. How does that? Do you feel like that plays a key role in that as well?
I also feel like that's also because of parents as well. A lot of times, most of our parents from like their generation, they got a lot of things done quickly, like much quicker, and they feel like because they did this at a certain time, you guys are not catching up, or you guys are lazy. You know how they call Nigerian youth lazy? Like, not everybody will have the same story. Not everybody will have the same races as your time, but they don't. A lot of people don't want to relax for their time. So,
do you have experiences yourself as well? I mean, let's have it. Everyone should just share personal experiences and stuff like that.
I remember when a lot of my friends were entering university, the first year they were going, and it was a very like, I don't want to say alienating, but it's like when you're not doing something that everyone else is doing, it's like something. Well, what's wrong? But I wasn't seeing it like that. I was just seeing it like you can have a different story. You can. Nothing is wrong with having
a different.
You meet people
story.
in like people that are like 50, 60, and they talk about their life. If you put like 5 people that are 50 in a room, they might not have, they won't even have similar. You'll be wondering like, wow, this guy's here. They might not be in the same place right now. But like
they have different pathways.
Different. So it's like people need to accept that it's not everything that will be the same, and you should be comfortable in knowing that you can still get to your goal. It doesn't have to, follow the same lane. You don't have to be in the same. Just be yourself. Be
Pace yourself.
Yeah, be comfortable.
Pace yourself. I think it's very important, and I think even in relationships that actually affects anxiety. Having friends that would actually encourage you. What would you say about that, Joshua?
Okay, so in terms of friendship and anxiety in friendship, so personally, I feel like certain people would want to please their friends. So there's
Definitely
so much
something.
pressure. There's so much pressure in wanting to do certain things that they like, which would even inconvenience you, but you are fine with it because you just want to please them. You understand? So that is another factor that you can say anxiety can be present in friendship, because you're just constantly anxious that what does this person want, what does this person want? Even if you're not physically or literally itching or like you're on drugs or something, no. But like emotionally, that you're trying to please these people, especially when they don't see what you're doing. Do you understand? They don't really appreciate you. They just the friendship has been so long that they probably get tired of you. That kind of thing. So they just manage you because they want to because of what they're getting
from you.
You understand?
So yeah, I think that's something very key. What do you think, Rex?
Yeah, relationships. I think anxiety shows itself like a lot in our relationships, especially our intimate connections with people and stuff. Like it plays into attachment theory as well. Like the different types of ways people show, like people relate with their connections, right? Like there's the fearful avoidant, there's the anxious preoccupied attachment style. So these two types of people suffer through anxiety, right? And the way it shows in their relationships is the anxious preoccupied is like, oh, he has a fear of being abandoned. So he reacts to intimacy by clinging for it rather than like being independent, right? He reacts to it by being more codependent and being more like looking for where like that connection can be taken away and trying to control it. While like the fearful avoidance is like the person also has abandonment wounds too, but he reacts to it in a different way. The way that person would react to it would be by pushing intimate connections away from a fear of
getting hurt or
being vulnerable, or what happens if this person betrays me type thing. So I think like when it's unchecked in that setting, it becomes more of a reason for toxic patterns as the relationship grows, and more people aren't aware of how like their attachment styles affect their relationships and how anxiety is really the underlying thing in it, like why these things happen the way they happen. Sometimes you can like anxiety can strike and it can make you think like something is a certain way, and in your mind like your reticular activating system will only be focusing on where that thing is, evidence of where that thing is happening, like oh, this person isn't picking their phone, or maybe like something happened to them, they go into an accident, blah blah. So maybe you now turn on the TV and you see a car crash and you're like it's a sign, like you start like panicking.
Yeah, so, just like, kind of joining dots that don't need to really, even connect in your head.
It's like that's how anxiety plays a role in that.
Would you say, would any of you have any experiences of where you've actually noticed that, anxiety played a key role in you being in some kind of toxic relationship, or an underlying, effect of anxiety in a relationship that you've been in? We're talking in relationship in terms of like intimate partner now, not even just friendships. Yeah.
Well, I've been in one particular one where so basically there was just this, you know, this whole feeling where you just need to understand who you're with, in the sense that, okay, you just be constantly bothered about, okay, who is this person seeing, especially if there's a particular person that your partner keeps on mentioning constantly, and they claim to be friends. They're close. They're work partners. They're close, you know, but they just claim to be friends. But this, you know, they're constantly, you know, really conversing with each other.
I feel the, you know, continue. So I feel it, like you feel it deeply, like
of course, anyone would feel that deeply.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's just a really messed up feeling when you're with someone, not necessarily with that person, but you guys are, you know, up to something, and then there's someone else in the picture. You know, I really don't know how to put this.
I understand what you're saying, because I definitely feel that same way as well. You know, does anyone have any other would you say experience?
Yeah, also like in family, like relationships.
Okay.
As well, like relationship between a child and their caregiver, like growing up, like how do I say, like when you've been abandoned in the past previously, right? So, and the caregiver returns, it can like make you like have this distrusting aura around people being near you, because it's like you feel like what that abandonment like wound really is your body telling you, I am not safe, like I am not in a safe environment. Because, you know, as human beings, like when we are born, one of our primal like urges is to survive, right? Instincts and stuff. So at our first years, we rely solely on our caregivers, and when it's like they are not there, it can actually like trigger a feeling of you're not safe, you're not safe. But the thing is, like, as an adult, that feeling comes up and that same reactions come up, but it's not really the same thing. So you feel like, oh, I'm not safe, but you're actually in a safe place. Because you realize that, oh, I'm actually safe, but it's just the feeling that you didn't process well initially. So, like, for example, like, imagine your mom going out and you'd be like, oh, like, where are you going? Like, when are you coming back? Because, like, you want to know where she's going to, when she's actually coming back, and you want to know, like, as much as you can about, like, the situation and stuff. So always like asking about like, oh, like where are you going? Like when you see them going out, you notice like
keep calling.
So
all those things.
Keep calling when they're out. Like, oh, are you on your way? They're coming back. That's the way it's shown in relationships too.
Yeah, that's definitely. I've learned so much. You've said so many key things today, really regarding relationships and stuff. But I wanted to ask. So with you know, relationships, as we've spoken and everything, how do you think you can actually overcome anxiety? Because I know that a lot of people is like, oh, it's a constant battle with anxiety. You know, it almost seems like you go from different stages. So when you're a teenager, when you were small, then you have a different level of anxiety. You know what I mean? Like a different, okay, maybe not level, maybe type. So now it wasn't, okay, the fear of, you know, being accepted into your peer, especially for teenagers, that's the main thing. You know, you want everyone to love you, and then you get over that, and then you get into the next stage of feeling like, oh, actually I need to get a job, I need to do this, I need to get a career, then you get that and you're like, actually no, I need to get married, so how do you actually, control, how do you, in your own way, how do you think you actually overcome anxiety?
I think like one thing that has been very key for me in dealing with this is taking up a meditative practice, right? And practicing mindfulness and practicing like daily meditations like in the morning, and being aware of myself, and also building a new self-image in yourself. Like I think part of it is self-worth issues. Like you think that you're not really worthy of certain things. Like you go out and you think like, oh, like people think you are bad or you're evil, or like irrational thoughts, right? Like, or like being able to like be like hold on, like who thinks this? Like Nandi thinks this, or Rex thinks this, or Rex is feeling anxious, rather than internalizing it and being like, oh, I am anxious. Being like, I am feeling anxious. Like, your feelings are more like visitors than
who you are.
Now who you are.
Yeah, so
Oh, that's definitely key.
So when you notice like, oh, the anxious feelings coming up, you're like, oh, I'm feeling anxious, and then you allow it to be and you allow it to actually pass. Like when you just allow yourself feel it without judging it or suppressing it, and then eventually it goes, and then you can now tell yourself like, oh, I'm actually safe, I'm actually in a good place, I can perform, I can do things. So it's like building a new self-image in yourself and being mindful as much as you can throughout the day has helped me deal with it as well. And also being aware of triggers is another important thing. Like things that that trigger that anxiety in you. Like, and being gentle with yourself too. Like knowing when to push for something, knowing when to actually calm down,
relax, and just take breaks.
Imagine you're going somewhere and like you're about to enter a room and there's 100 people in the room sitting down. Like before you enter, you like obviously feel so like anxious, like you forget how to walk. But like before you enter, like you just like calm down and like you become centered, and then you just go like only look forward, like, and you know, you sit down and you behave. So it's like
that's definitely yes, sorry. No. Carry.
Okay, so personally, I feel the solution to this is that I think you need to really focus on your body and situate yourself in the present.
Yeah.
You understand? So like when you do that, and like for example now you're about to carry out a task, you know, so you situate yourself in the present and you're really focusing on what you're about to do, the things you want to say. Just focus on this, forget everything else, and just try to really just process things and process words. Because personally, I used to have a whole lot of anxieties, and especially with my speaking. So what I do now is that I literally just calm down and take my words word for word. That's literally what I do, and then everything just comes out smoothly. And then I just realize, okay, I feel calm when I slowly, talk, like, you know, words in the full sentence. I really just pronounce each word, you know, and I sound very clear, you know. So that can really be of help, you know, for people who have anxieties. Like that's a solution, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I was reading some stuff yesterday where we were trying to get ideas on this anxiety, and so it was like, you know how there's different forms that anxiety can show up. Sometimes if you feel something coming, it's just anxiety just stems from overthinking, like overthinking everything. What is the worst possible outcome that can happen here? Or if you're present, if you're here, like, let me just be here. Let me just be in the present. Let me just see what everyone is saying. You know how some people are like, oh, they get anxiety when they're in new social environments, social situations, because they don't want to say the wrong thing, or they don't want to. If you just listen, just be here, hear what everyone is saying. Yeah, just a different place. Just don't overthink that's it. Don't overthink everything. Try to, if you feel like, oh, the thoughts are coming up again, you can like give yourself a pep talk. Like, okay, I know what I'm doing. I know what this is. But I'm okay with this. I'm just going to calm down first before I, like, as he said, be gentle with yourself. Everything is like a relationship with yourself. If you're comfortable with yourself, you won't, when you're overthinking, you can catch yourself easily. It's like, I know what I'm doing. Well, I'll calm down small.
What you said about being comfortable with yourself is definitely very key, because I would say for one, I had a lot, like I used to get really, really anxious, especially when I was like in uni. I used to get so anxious, like it would be so bad that I would, you know, my heart would be beating physically, like I would be sleeping and I would be awake and then my heart is like, I can feel my heart just going on the bed and stuff like that. So I really used to get really anxious. But one thing I know that really helped with anxiety is just building self-confidence. Definitely helped so much with overcoming anxiety. Building self-confidence, just knowing, like for example, just, you know, not caring about what people think. That was one thing about me. I could never walk up to somebody and speak to them. I just used to think that, you know, somebody, you want to bite me in some way. I don't know how to. I just thought that everyone had one, you know, you don't know. And that's why even with right now, I kind of, would I say fear animals? Because what I'm thinking is that, okay, I'm seeing this dog now, and this cat now, and it's walking past, I can't tell what you're thinking. I don't know what you're thinking, and that's what makes me afraid. So that's how I was with human beings as well, because I can't tell what you're thinking. I don't know who this Joshua guy is. I don't know who Amarachi. Yeah, you know, I don't know what you're thinking. So in my head, I'm always like, okay, trying to be like, okay, should I come up soft to this guy? Should I come up hard to him? How should I? What type of person you would to get what, you know, to be able to relate, you know? But it had to get to a point where I was just like, you know what, wherever you are, you're yourself. Do you understand? You're yourself. Wherever you find yourself. I mean, with animals, I'm still trying to get over that. Because, I mean, one dog now, you don't know whether the dog, you don't know if it's a calm one, if it's not a calm one. You don't know if you know, that's one thing. So yeah, I've definitely learned so much from everyone. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us today. I've really learned so much. There's so many things you said, and you know, very, very critical things about, and I know that this will be very useful for anyone, you know, battling with anxiety. Just remember that you will get over it. You would wait, let me not say get over it. You would come through, but with time it would be less. With time, because I would say, for one, that anxiety used to be a big problem of mine, but I would say for like maybe like a year or something or two now, I don't think I've felt that kind of anxious feeling, just because I'm just more conscious in speaking to myself and just taking some of the things that they've said as well. All right, follow us on all our social media platforms at SMA100 Africa, at 100talks.ng, and at 100woman.ng to know a lot more about our community, about entrepreneurs. We're all for entrepreneurs. We do everything for entrepreneurs and with entrepreneurs. See you next week. Thank you for joining us this week on Cocktails and Conversation. Have an amazing day. Bye for now. Bye.